It's J Moore, the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest, we gon'
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. We about to break down the Shy season 7. It's been on for a minute. Episode 9, where we pick up from the last episode. We saw Emmett confronting Reg after he beat up his brother over the debt that he owed, that stupid gambling debt. And so once Emmett went over there, he ended up catching the long end of the barrel from Reg. He got popped, and we see immediately what happened when this episode kicks off. So it just so happened Hannibal must have been in the other room, whatever the case, in the bathroom, but he comes out. He's asking, what did you do? Why'd you shoot him? And he ends up carrying Emmett to the hospital, carrying him to safety. Save Emmett's life, pretty much. And had he not been there, who knows? Maybe Reg might have finished him off, left him there. Who knows? But we see he saved Emmett. So then we see everybody coming to the hospital. And here's the thing, the first thing I had a problem with is when everybody came to the hospital to see Emmett, you got the nurse talking about who only family. And why is this is the thing in life, man. I know I'm not a liar. I don't consider myself a liar. Okay. But it's sometimes where you need to lie because some things are just stupid and don't make sense. Kisha is his wife, pretty much. They live together, they got kids together. And the woman talking about only family. Are you his wife? Well, technically, almost. Well, technically and almost ain't that. We got to go by her. Just say, yeah. Why she ain't just say, yeah, I'm his wife. Okay, come in. Like she gonna say, I need to see a marriage license. Let me see the ring. Let me see the ring. Yeah, I'm his wife. Move. Beyond. Straight up. Yeah, I'm his wife. Move. Anyway, they got Tiff and Kisha bellies on swole, stuck outside. And this fool, the brother, go in there. I would never have wanted to see him right then. This first thing I wake up and seeing this fool. Oh man, I've been in make my blood pressure pop to see this fool up in here. Try to stab him with one of my dang on IVs or something. Stab him in the neck. Damn trash. Anyway, we see everybody praying for him and things, trying to wish well. And then Vic Mensa, when he mentioned prayer, I ain't got time for prayer. Which I was like, come on, y'all. They always got something against that in this show in a way. Anyway, we'll get into that a little later. Darnell, he was having a hard time dealing with it. He may lose his son. I mean, when he asked his Damian, his younger son, what happened? I mean, how did he not punch him in the head, man? And then when Damian was talking to Kisha, talking about, I ain't tell him to go over there and fight for me. Man, he would have caught the, oh, you get straight up. He ain't told what? You know what? He should let Red shoot you. Anyway. Stephen Harris, what's good, my brother? How you feeling? Damian Kenny, what's good, fam? How you feeling, bro? JKE, what's good with you? What's good? What's up? What's up, Big Bird? You like that one? Hey, man, these people tripping out here. JKE, you say facts. Kisha should have straight up said, I'm his wife. LOL, who was going to fact check? For real. That was dumb. I was like, man, I don't even consider that a lie. Straight up. Well, I don't want to lie. Man, who the hell is she? She's some nurse. Hey, man, move. See, this the problem with regulations, and then people that attack regulations, they don't understand. So it's regulations are meant for a reason, because it's been times where maybe you got 20, 30 people in the hospital to see somebody that's in there. And so, yeah, we need to just limit this to just the immediate family. It's too many people in here. It's hard to work. We got to go around all these other different people and stuff. It gets packed. It gets crowded. It make it hard for people to do their job. But then when you take that regulation and apply it to something like this, where it wasn't going to affect them, they wasn't going to be in nobody way, they wasn't stopping nothing. That's when people, I would say, misinterpret regulations, So anyway, that's like if somebody in the home health aid field is helping somebody and it's other family members in the house, they're not there for the whole family, they're there for that person. But if it was one plate in there, you don't say, well, I ain't supposed to wash it. You try and take advantage. One plate? Anyway. So we see Knuck as Kisha at the hospital, because it seemed like everybody was there. Like I was saying in one of my previous videos, Emmett probably won't die because he's the most central character. Everybody kind of revolves around Emmett. And so we see pretty much everybody there. Knuck is there, Jake is there, all kind of people there. And when Knuck finds out from Kisha what happened, he goes over there and talks to Jake. And pretty much, and Jake, man, Jake, he be trying to act hard, but I don't know why. But he confront Jake, find out what's up with his brother, where he was running a stand, who he run with, Hannibal, and pretty much start looking for him. And we later see Trig and Jake was done with him anyway, which a little bit too little, too late for the most part. And one thing I will say that I did agree with is that when Vic or Trig, whoever he want to be for the moment, and Jake went to go and confront uh Reg at the apartment, saying, man, what did you do? He said, hey, man, he ran up on me. And they said, well, you ain't got to shoot him. And he said, look, you don't never run up on somebody unless you plan to take them out. And that is true when you're in the adult world. When we were kids, and I say that is under 18, you may be, and it probably ain't even that now, it's probably 15 and under, maybe these days, 14 and under. But and I wouldn't even say all the way to 18. In my day, I'd say probably up to 17, 16. But anyway, you didn't get felonies for things that you did because you was under 18. People may have got into more fights than all the fights that I kind of know of or went through and experienced was in those years. And as you get older, it ain't as many fights and it's more bang bang, people coming with them things, you know what I'm saying? And so the stakes get higher. You don't get a slap on the wrist, you go to prison, you get felonies. If you don't pay bills and stuff, back when you was younger, what happened? You still got a roof over your head, you can still do things, but when you get older, you get things cut off you, and then you be struggling. So the stakes get higher, and we see that's what's happening anyway. He made a great point. Don't run up on nobody unless you planning to take it all the way to the end. Now you don't want to, but you may run up on that person and beat them down, and then what? They may be looking for you for the next year or two for revenge. So be careful who you run up on these days. Anyway, they throw Reg out. And what's with these women that love these street ninjas, but I guess they street women. And I ain't talking about street walkers. But anyway, he found him a nice little thick old thing to lay his head up on. 2 nice pillows. Anyway, Ridge, this dude, man, I think he ended up probably bringing more trouble to that girl and to what you call it in the end, because we see after Hannibal end up locating him and talking, because Knuck Knuck boy, he got some demons, some skeletons in his closet, don't he? He done murked everybody in the dang on city. Anyway, we see that after they he's trying to have backup, right? I don't live in this world. I don't know nothing about this world, especially today. But the world of hiring a hitman or a shooter, the hitman's bodyguard, this is the dope man's bodyguard. This is part 3, the dope man's bodyguard. So she auditioned. Uh Damian Kenny, Reagan Gomez Preston equal Red's girlfriend. Okay, I don't know who that is, but the shooter that was hired, they had her auditioning on the video game, what, Call of Duty? So what? He was like, all I know is when she shoots, she don't miss. That's what Jackie Long say. Next thing you know, she auditioning on the video game. So what you think? I'm hired? I ain't one of y'all. I mean, I have to admit, man, studs, boy, they sure be acting a lot. They like a hyper version of male masculinity, just like a man in drag is like a hyper version of a woman female energy. I'm not saying that a stud is playing a role like a drag queen, but I just think that those two different things are like two opposite ends of the spectrum, because I mean, Shorty was she looked harder than any dude I know. Anyway, it was interesting to see that they gonna what, audition shooters with video games. They say they're using that stuff in the military. I don't know. Zeke, you say episode was boring again. It was not that exciting considering the last episode ended with a bang, literally. I will say they tried to drag out if Emmett lived this episode. We didn't find out until the end that Emmett lives. I predicted he wasn't gonna go, but I looked at it again and started to think twice when I saw where it was in the shoulder and bleed out an artery. Once you start to think too much, then you can second guess yourself. But anyway, they made us wait to the end to find out Emmett lives. He ain't gonna die, and then the first thing he want to do, get Kisha. I need to see her. Kisha. He got a tear coming down his eye. Will you marry me? I think that's in a way that's kind of good, but in a way that's a horrible proposal. It took you damn near ready to die in the hospital bed before you wanted to marry me, huh? You wasn't gonna get down on one knee. Well, I ain't gonna get on one knee either, but hey, could have got a little more romantic, but they did drag it out. Another thing that I thought about this episode is, why did the preacher, would he really lose everything? And then I started thinking about the church I go to, and if the pastor left his wife for a white girl. But that ain't what happened though. This pastor's wife was cheating and messing around, and everybody knew it. So why is he being punished? Why would he lose his congregation because he was with a white woman? Is it really like that? I don't know. Damian Kenny, you say that's why the show is religious. The cast and crew are of a certain community. Yeah. Zeke, 3 more episodes left. Who you think gonna die this season? Knuck. I think Knuck gonna get bucked. Who is this? I think Knuck might go. Who is a mod called Repent to Allah and Islam, because by Islam in the hearts and souls repent to survive from the promise. All right. JKE, it was a better proposal than Trevor from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. From Trevor. I don't even, would you, the new Fresh Prince reboot? I stopped watching that after what? The first season or the second season? I think I only watched the first season of that. Anyway, Trevor from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. If you talking about with Will Smith, my memory ain't that good, sadly. But anyway, we see Vic. He thought he was gonna be still what? Cool with Tiff, put his arm around her and get some smooches after his brother shot her baby daddy. Like, that's a little too close for comfort. Like, dude, you need to chill. You ain't realizing this. Talking about he out of our life now. Yeah, where you go? One Journey, hey, how you doing? You say, hey, what's up? That's what's up. What's up? JKE, the old one, when dude jumped with the parachute to his death. Oh yeah, I remember that. Will you marry me? I forgot all about that. Wow, you got a good memory. Damian Kenny, Sarah, the white lady's not built for struggle. She not the one for Pastor Easy. Well, that's why I was wondering though, why is he struggling? Why'd they leave? But I guess I don't know if that happened at my church. Maybe they wouldn't support him. Maybe the pews might start getting a little thin. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, one thing that I didn't like is that when Emmett was in the hospital fighting for his life, unconscious, Kisha talking about, I can't do this. I gotta go. I'm gonna go to Smokies. Smokies. If I would have woke up talking about where Kisha, I want to propose, and she had Smokies, I'd have been like, man, nah, I guess they was trying to do the little montage to show, even though she pregnant, she a strong woman or something, and she out there handling his business and things. To a certain extent, that is good that you got somebody that if you laid up, they can handle business and take care of things. That is a blessing. I mean, I know I wish I had that when I was going through some things. So that is a value. But I just think she was doing it a little soon. Now, after watching it, it's playing again. But thinking about it as well, they weren't letting her back. I guess she was getting frustrated just sitting in the waiting room. They won't even let her see him. I guess that I ain't gonna be so hard on her wanting to get out of there and do something, get some fresh air, something. Shoot, they wouldn't even let her back. I'm glad she came back there when they said he waking up. But that but that would have went back to my first thing. My first instinct would have been, yeah, I'm his wife. What the hell? Anyway. Uh oh my goodness gracious, you ain't lying. JKE, Keisha hired super. Here's the thing with that. I would not have hired her because she was not professional at all. And you can't even hold it together in the interview. Man, this nigga did this, and that nigga did that. Oh man, your nigga gonna be all right. Oh man, they gonna do this, all do all you. Man, Get out of here. You ain't professional enough to be the manager, the front end. You gonna be calling all my customers, whatever. That sometimes can work with some personalities and some businesses. Me personally, I would not want to go to a restaurant with somebody talking like that. I would stop going there. I would think that they probably cutting corners somewhere, to say the least. They damn sure ain't cleaning that grease trap. They had to show Kisha cleaning the grease trap. Yeah, right. It wasn't nothing on there yet. That's why she was cleaning it. Anyway, I doubt who is that? Punky Johnson. Punky Johnson ain't gonna do it. And what's up with everybody with these big ass heads of braids? What's with the predator look? Everybody got this big old head of braids pulled all up. The predator look. I don't know what's up with that. You got your head shaved around. You know who else pissed me off this episode? I even yelled this at the screen. Tiff. Tiff is stupid, man. Tiff a dummy. Man, I said, man, Tiff, you stupid. I said that at the screen. Why is she so stupid? This woman is setting up a trust fund for you and your kid. This woman is making you, when this woman dies and she ain't that young, she's leaving you everything. She don't have a son. She don't have a husband. She's leaving you that house that you're in, her estate, everything. And this is Tiff's reaction. What it is? I, I need to think about this. Think about what, you dumbass? What do you do? What does Tiff do? Where does she work? Tiff ain't, she's cute. That was it. Tiff didn't have no damn money. She ain't smart. What was she doing? This is a lottery windfall that will change your life. Even though girl said, think about the future, dummy. How stupid can you be? How stupid can I understand our people, we don't have trust funds. We don't have people to leave stuff. We don't normally get a will. We get a bill. That's one of the running jokes. True. But we heard of it. And if somebody, I did a little bit more research, but everybody, at least I think at a certain age, should have heard of a trust fund. And if she talking about she leaving this money to your kid and doing this and doing that, what's the problem? Tiff don't got nothing. What you think? She want to use your social security number, Tiff, to get a credit card in your name? Your dumb ass. Tiff's so stupid. Just sign the paper and get it over with before she change her mind. And then what if she die and then you didn't sign that paper? As you get older, ain't no guarantee. You could be talking about, let me think about it. And then what if she die and then the papers wasn't signed? You ain't got a damn thing now. Playing around. Thinking about what? Think about what? Being broke still? To think about, let me think about not having nothing for my kid. Why? Oh my goodness. Let me see. One journey. She had nothing when she met Rob. Exactly. She had nothing. Nothing. Just a goofy. She trying to sell weed. Like you this woman might be leaving you millions, million. That house in Chicago where they at, that house, the way it look and everything, I know that house is at least a $500,000 home. At least a minimum $500,000. JKE reminds of the rapper Takeoff situation. His family currently in limbo because he didn't have a will. Preach, Jay. Hey, for real. And on a side note, this is something we all could do real easy. I don't, this is something I'm just saying because we talking about it. I'm not sponsoring it, but go to trustandwill.com. Trustandwill.com, and you can get all the stuff to set you up a trust or a will. And it's real simple and affordable. Hey, get a life insurance policy. Anyway, this fool, I just wanted to just yell at Tiffany so bad. Damian Kenny, you say it's overwhelming for Tiff to be a place to make big decisions. That's true, but see, that's showing the truth right there. Like she swore she was big time when she was trying to start her weed business, or when she trying to start a little bar that she running or doing whatever. I mean, this woman is giving her everything, a bar, the place to live, all that. But she swears she in control. But when it really come down to it, she's just bossy. She don't really know how to make the real decisions. It takes some, I don't know. Anyway. What y'all think about this? Is another thing I thought about this episode is these dudes really text that type of information. Like if I was Hannibal and I found out where Reg was, I wouldn't text that to Knuck. And if I was Knuck, I wouldn't text that to the cop. I would call them. Why are they texting this? That's gonna come back eventually. You leaving a record. You don't text nothing like that. Texting the address of where this dude is so you can go get him. So anyway, I think that was a big mistake. But looking back at a lot of stuff that we see going on these days, people text the damnedest things, don't they? So I don't know why people text these things. It is a written record, literally, that'll get pulled up. It's best to just speak it, and they recorded it wiretap illegal or something, or legal, go do that. But don't just incriminate yourself. JKE, you say Rob Mama rolling out the red carpet for her, and she still want to get her street guy itch scratched by Knuck. Facts. Facts. What's wrong with these broads on this show, man? Man, she want to act like she's so strong and smart, but you can't stop messing with these street dudes. Even Rob, he was a wannabe street dude. She was getting the best of both worlds with him, she thought. Now she over here texting Knuck, having him put together baby cribs and stuff. Why? You got enough money to have them put it together when it's delivered. You don't need him. You don't need to be texting him, I'm good with my hands. LOL. I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Man, she crazy. What y'all think about Damian trying to break down and cry in the confession? Ben texting old girl. What, he wanted to smash again after he got his cry on? Man, dude needed to get beat. One of the things I really hated when he was sitting there telling his little punk ass story is he talking about, I made a bet. I made a bet and the guy beat me up because I didn't have enough money. And then my brother, he saw me and next thing you know, he was in the hospital. What the hell you mean next thing you know he was in the hospital? You mean he went to go confront the person that kicked your stupid ass and got shot? And then he was in the hospital. What you mean next thing you know he was in the hospital? Man, you ain't taking accountability for your dumbass decisions. He gonna gamble again. He gonna blow it again. He ain't learned nothing. I don't think so. We'll see him probably get whacked before the end of this season. JKE, you say, hey Jay, ain't no woman fine as Tiff could be texting me, no, you up after a certain time of night. Facts. Facts. Talking about, I wanted to thank you for putting together the baby crib. Really, you wanted to wake me up for that? I'm gonna knock that baby up out you is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go poke him in the head a little bit. And I'm gonna say, baby, you up. Boop, boop. Wake up, baby. Time for you to move out. It's a new resident coming in. We need a new parking space, baby. She crazy. Yeah, Tiff, she loved them street dudes. She loved her street life. And, at a certain age, it could seem appealing and tempting, but as you get older, it's too many downsides. Why would you want to do that? She the type to get one of them, and after old girl leave her $1 million, she try to invest it in the weed business or something. Dude rip her off, it all go bust, and then she ain't got no trust fund, no money, no nothing. Looking stupid, talking about how dudes ain't this, how dudes ain't that. Nah, you keep picking these dumbass dudes that doing that. That's you. You want to keep picking that. That's like a dude saying women ain't this, women ain't that, but they pick streetwalkers to be to turn into housewives, and it never works out. And they want to say how women ain't this and women ain't that. Nah, you got bad choices in the women you choose, and that's why they ain't this and that. Your vision ain't matching up with your reality. Tiff, you right. She better not be texting nobody in the middle of the night. And Kisha, man, Kisha tripping. I don't even know if they needed to hire nobody just yet. Although they did, they did pretty much fire everybody in the store. Speaking of that, Smokies with one location, they sure do have a hell of a reputation. Cause and this is another thing that I don't like about this show. I've said this many times is that they make Chicago look so small, like it's a small town. Don't you know you can see somebody and never see them again, and you can live there the rest of your life, never see these people again, and be in the same relative neighborhood. So for Reg to find this shorty to hide out with, and then for her to have Jackie Long there, who used to work in Smoke, they both know Smokey, both know him. Wow, what are the odds of this? I mean, really, neither one of them like Emmett. He like, damn, you shot Emmett? He like, yeah, I shot him. He ran up on me. Hey, I mean, I just think that the odds of that is just so small of happening. Anyway, he the one that recommends him a shooter. She looked like some rapper or something. She got a hell of a look. I give her that. Everybody with all these tats and looking hard and stuff. I mean, anyway, then he got him a backup because at first he was looking at Hannibal like, yeah, I need a shooter, got my back. Jackie Long, like, hey, ain't me. Anyway, Hannibal, he ain't trying to do it. I'm wondering what Red's plan is. I guess he gonna. Then she said she want to get paid in cash. He ain't got no cash, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, this episode, after coming off the last one with seeing Image shot and the drama and everything, it is somewhat of a letdown, but it's kind of hard to keep up that type of momentum. So I ain't gonna hold it against them. It ain't like they can go and just start shooting everybody in the show. So it is what it is. Darnell, I give him credit for doing a good job with the acting, as well as I'll even say Damian did a real good job acting in this episode when he was at that meeting and he was speaking. I wanted to beat him down though when he was in the damn hospital, talking about it ain't his fault. He ain't asked Emmett to do this. Oh man, he needed to get beat so bad. Anyway, what else? Papa's podcast is pretty powerful, huh? He made all them people come out to his show talking about, man, my podcast don't play. Like, what? My audience don't play. I'm like, damn, I don't know if he got a better podcast than me, that's for sure. Anyway, Papa, he now gave his church over to pastors who Kirk Franklin, fake Franklin over here. Anyway, Jerk Franklin. No, he ain't a jerk. He actually doing good. He actually found out from Knuck that Knuck is the one that took out Papa's daddy. Knuck boy, he got some skeletons in his closet. But now we see that they all at Papa's daddy church and trying to revive it. Papa brought out his audience to come fill the pews and on a weekday. That's a hell of an audience right there. And I mean, you know, it may be good, it may not. His mama is weary, so we'll see if him and Dre knows what they doing. Anyway, we also saw that they found that gun that Zay gave Kenya. And if I remember correctly, don't that gun got a body on it? So I wonder how that's going to play out. I wonder if Pastor trying to call himself doing the right thing does something stupid like turn the gun into the cops. Then they run it and be like, "Oh, it's involved in this and that. We putting you in jail." And he'd be like, "What? It wasn't me. It was my daughter." Well, it wasn't her. It was him, and he did. That's just more problems than it's worth, man. More problems than it's worth. So, anyway, JKE, you say it was realistic for Pastor Zeke to want to switch up on Alicia and his methods after finding the gun. Cats always change their outlook once things get too close to home. What are you, Alicia? You talking about who was Alicia? Felicia Rashad or the wife, his ex-wife? It was I mean, the way they talked, it made it sound like he probably used to run the streets at one time his damn self, and then he changed his life around. Oh, Lynn, yeah. Yeah. So she came at him saying, I know, right, man? Y'all gotta give me some credit, man. My head is anyway. She came and passed the Zeke talking about a plan they talked about, which was what? Killing the killers. He like, man, they outnumber you, and I ain't about to do this. They made a good conversation, but they didn't answer it, which was he was talking about rules, and I looked at it as a bigger conversation about society. And they were saying who makes the rules, and he was saying, yeah, but you want to make all the rules. And then he said, well, God made the rules. And I think that's about both in society, a bigger conversation. Do we want to live by man's law, which is marry whoever, live however, change whatever, do whatever, or by God's law? And I think it's a combination of both is what we should be living by. And I think man is in rebellion to a certain extent with that. But anyway, he was right in the sense that you can't go around killing the killers because then you become the killer. So in that regards, you got to find another way. That's why as society, when people do those things, we put them in prison for a certain amount of time. Society votes and says, hey, this law or that law or this or that. And then as a collective, we supposed to come and do better. But don't always work that way, sadly. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and do my Moscore rating for this episode, and then break it down a little more before we get up out of here. All right, the Moscore is my rating system. Real simple, 4 categories, 25 points each. give you a score of 100. And you can always drop a decimal to get score 1 to 10. I would say for this first category, the visual cinematography for this episode, it was standard for what they normally do, use modern cameras and techniques. It's not really a scene too memorable. I mean, they tried to make it a little dramatic when Emmett was waking up and trying to propose at the end. And if it was a scene I'd pick, it'd be that. But with that being said, I would give it a 20 out of a 25. Next would be storyline and plot. For this storyline, for this episode, it was good. It kept the story of what the characters are going through moving, but it was a little dragged out. I would have liked to know what happened with Emmett sooner and maybe see him come home and move forward or do something else. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next episodes with that. But we'll see also what's going on with Reg. He's starting to get set up from his own buddy, and that's because his buddy think what? That Reg may turn against him, but he just sat there and smoked with Reg, so he know Reg ain't gonna turn against him, but he sold him out anyway, which was kind of messed up. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 20. I'm gonna give it a 20. Special effect, makeup, costumes. No special effect makeup really other than Emmett in the hospital. Um, and the costumes is on par with current clothing. So I'm gonna give it a 18. It's not like they had to do too much different from current costume stuff. And then entertaining fun factor. This was not as good as the last episode, which of course it was gonna probably have that problem with the last episode being so good. I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it an 18 out of 25 for the entertaining fun factor. It was all right. Wasn't all that. Which brings it to a 76 on the Mosco. You can always give a .5 margin of error. So if people think it's a 7 or a 8, roughly, I can see the case to be made for that. Um, Overall, it helped move the story together, but it wasn't all of that. Wasn't the worst. We needed to know what happened next. So, it had to be there. But they probably could have shortened a couple of things like Emmett in the hospital so that we could at least move on to see what's happening with Reg and other things. I don't know. To me, what's happening with Reg is probably one of the most interesting storylines of this season. So I want to see what's going on with Reg. How they gonna set him up? Are they gonna whack him, put him in jail? What's gonna happen? Also, it's interesting to see how he kind of maneuvering and getting around and stuff. So um, I'm interested for that. We'll see. A lot of this other stuff is kind of boring. Some of these other storylines, seeing the women pregnant and then they have a kids, like we done seen Kisha have a baby already on this show. Like how many times we gonna watch this woman have babies on this show? So I ain't that interested to see that. Even Tiff, like I mean, this ain't a baby mama show. Anyway, I want to see more of what's going down in the hood and the shy. You know, let's find out who whacked Miss Ethel. Anyway, let me get up out of here, y'all. It's been a little minute. Let me see. CR22, what's good? You said you can't just be a killer. Yeah, that's I'm assuming going towards super stud. Shorty looked like the biggest gangster in the world, tatted up. Them braids, wow, them braids. How much they paying for that? I know that's tight on your head. I believe it or not, I used to have braids, and I remember, boy, I'm tender headed too. So then they pull it. Sometimes you had that little dent in your head. They done pulled it so tight. Oh my goodness! But those braids were crisp. They were crisp. I give it to. I wonder how much hair that is. How long that take? That's $1,000 hair job. $500. Anyway. Let me get up out of here, y'all. JKE Hannibal gonna end up in the box playing both sides. Sadly, I think you may be right. Hannibal, I like his character. Think he doing a good job. I like that he had a wife and how they was talking and things. I thought that was pretty dope. And it would be sad if he didn't make it, you know. Stephen Harris, Lena don't do this with Emmett. I woke up thinking about, LOL, these are my people. Well, it's a few people that look like Lena in this show, but we got to keep the people Emmett that's trying to look like the people of the Shy that we may know anyway. Reg, he messed up with Emmett. He got too many enemies now. Anyway, night to all of y'all. Let's see. JKEJ, would you have denounced Reg as a brother like Trig did, considering the little we know about their relationship? Well, Trig did make a good point that Emmett is more of a brother than he ever was. Emmett did give him a job. They all together. Emmett, they doing the shared circle. You trying to smash Emmett, baby mama. You gotta come on now. He gotta pick Emmett over Reg. Now, had it been anybody else, I don't know. But you talking about Emmett versus Reg, he in a bad position because you want to have your brother back, but if your brother ain't worth spit and you got this dude that's like a brother, he's such a good friend, been so cool, y'all share so much, y'all even sharing trying to share parking spaces. uh I think you should choose Emmett. If me and you were friends, JKE, like how Vic and Emmett are friends, and you work at my spot and all this stuff, and we done been friends, you trying to smash, then your punk ass brother shoot me, and then you hide him out and play me. Oh, I'm gonna be mad at you. I'd be salty. Like, oh, dude, what? You be like, but that's my brother. Oh, so who am I? What the? You know what? I can't mess with you, bro. I'm just being real. I'm a Virgo. I guess I'm sensitive, but my friendship means something to me. I ain't got time to just be talking to people, hanging out, and doing this, doing that, or whatever. Like we friends, I'm investing that time. Do this, you do this, and shoot me. Have somebody shooting you, got their back, or just like somebody. Even when I was in my teenage years, about 18, some friends broke into my house. I stayed with my parents and robbed me and my parents. I can't mess with that. Yeah, you don't want to have. So who you got loyalty to? The ones that robbed me or to me? Anyway, I'm up out of here, y'all. Stephen Harris, you say you rooting for Tiffany and Victor. we all, we all, we all know Reg wasn't correct in that bet he made with Damian. Hopefully, Damian doesn't trade one vice for another. That's true. He was messed up for that bet. And even though he came short, he still came with 4 racks. Wasn't like he came with $50 insulting you. So, JKE, you say I agree. Considering how they are as brothers, you can't continue to mess with Reg at least. Yeah, I think they did the best they could. They can't. He can't kill Reg. for Emmett. You don't want to sell him out like, hey, he stay here, go get him. But at the same time, you can't really rock with him because then everybody gonna be like, oh damn, your brother could just do anything to anybody and you gonna support him what? Just because he your brother? Like you gotta call out a spade, call like they say, balls and strikes. And so, hey, you wrong, you wrong. And so yeah, he they did the best thing by not selling him out, but at the same time they had to cut him off. So and at the end, it's all Reg's fault. He the one popped him. He the one did it. Why you do that? You couldn't take them hands? And then he say, I ain't know what he was gonna do. He might have beat me to death. He might have did this or that. Which I mean, it's only so much talking you can do in the fight in real life. So to a certain extent, I agree. And I agree with Reg that you don't put your hands on another grown man unless you ready to take it there. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who you hitting. You don't know what they feeling, what they going through, what they have or don't have. And you don't know, man. You just don't do that to people as adults. And I really wouldn't do it to a person 14 years old or older nowadays. Shoot. They'll get a strap and pop you. And then that'll be it. Just like that. That'll be it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. You ain't hard. You ain't proving nothing. There ain't no prize fight and no check at the end. And that's one thing once I started realizing, man, ain't no check for this. What, somebody talking crazy, so I'm about to check them. I'm about to get prove I'm hard. What you doing? Who's watching? Ain't no audience. Ain't no check. It's no point in this. You get beat up, shot, killed, do this for nothing, for free. You'd be better off joining the military. At least you get some benefits. All right, y'all. I know I done said I can't. I'm gonna be out of here. My dang on back keep hurting. Uh, let's see. You, Steven, you say Reg knows good and well Damian answered the question right. Damian should have fact checked him himself. Reg gotta go. That is true, especially for that amount of money. He should have fact checked him. Now, here's the deal. I'm wondering if he really got it wrong on the show. Like, I know that people are saying, I didn't even fact check it, so I'm going to take y'all word for it. But people are saying that he gave him the wrong stats. Okay. I'm wondering, is that on purpose or did he give the wrong stats on accident on the show? It could make a difference. If he gave the wrong stats on accident, that means he thought he did win the bet. But if he gave those wrong stats on purpose, it showed Reg was a snake from the get go. And yeah, Damian should have fact checked and did all of that. So, yeah. JKE, you say Reg was correct. It was 3 steals from the flu game. I've looked a few times since the episode. Okay. You said he had everything right but the steals. I'm a good trivia guy, but I don't have trivia as far as individual games necessarily. Yeah, we know the Kobe 81 or certain things like that, but for the most part, I don't remember the stat lines of a single game. So I would have never made that bet or thought of that. I can tell you, at least I used to tell you a little bit more about a player's career or something. How many all-star games or years, but I forgot a lot of that stuff because as you get older, you realize it ain't important as it used to be. Anyway, let me get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Emmett lives, deuces. Emmett lives, and now he about to die because he getting married. Now Kisha about to kill him. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you back on the next one. And BMF coming soon.